Greetings everyone, wherever you are watching this tutorial from. This is 2022 internal question number 10. That is section B, but we're just going to look at question A. This question is under statistics. So those who are following me, last time we looked at how we can solve the standard deviation of a discrete data. Now today we're going to look at how we can solve a standard deviation of continuously grouped data, or maybe qualitative continuous grouped data. So the question says, the table shows the heights of 100 plants measured in centimeters on a particular day. So these are the heights of the plants, and these were the frequency or maybe the number of plants in that particular field. So those plants which were 0 to 10 centimeters were 3, 10 centimeters to 20 were 8, 20 centimeters to 30 were 14, 30 to 40 were 22, 40 to 50 centimeters were 23, 50 centimeters to 60 centimeters were 22, and 60 to 70 centimeters were 8. Yeah, the 70 here, though it is not visible enough. So the question says, calculate the standard deviation. To start with, I want to encourage everyone to say, in mathematics paper 2, this is one of the simplest questions you can ever find. This is the question in which you shouldn't even try to leave or maybe to run away from. These are free marks. So if you have got any challenge, if you want to understand this question very well, this is your chance. This is your time. Please come close and pay particular attention. So how do we solve this question? Of course, there are so many methods on how you can solve this question, but for me personally, I love this one for a table because this one minimizes the risks of making a mistake. You remember, this question, even if you miss this number here, you wrote a wrong number here, it simply means everything here becomes wrong. So what do? We're going to draw a table as I have drawn the table here. We're going to draw a table. The first column here, we're going to put the height of these plants. So since this is a group data, we're also going to group them. So those with 0 to 10 centimeters, we're going to put them in a group like that. 10 centimeters to 20 like that. 20 until all the numbers there until 60 to 70, since here we have 60 to 70. Then the next column, we're going to put a frequency. F here represents a frequency, and this is a frequency. So on this frequency, just copy these numbers corresponding to the what? To the height of the plants. So the first one, we have 3, we have 8, we have 14. So that is why 3, 8, 14, like that. Until here we have 8, and then what? That is why we have another 8 there. So here we add these numbers. We find the sum. Okay, there's this symbol here which represents the sum. We find the sum. So when you add these numbers, you're going to get 100. Of course, this number always should match with the number which is there. It shouldn't be mismatching. They have to be matching always. Then the next step, since this is a grouped data, we need to find the F. Well, sorry, we need to find X. X here represents the midpoint of the what? Of these numbers here, or maybe of these numbers there. So we need to find the midpoint, which is the X here. So how can we find the midpoint? The midpoint, we add this number here, we add this number and this number. When you find the answer, we divide it by 2. So when you say 0 plus 10, you're going to get a 10. 10 divided by 2, we have a 5. That is why we have a 5 there. 10 plus 20, we have a 30. 30 divided by 2, we have a 15. That is why we have a 15 there. 20 plus 30, we have a 50. 50 divided by 2, it is 25. We have 25 there. 30 plus 40, we have 70. 70 divided by 2, we have 35. That is why we have 35 here. 40 plus 50, it is 90. 90 divided by 2, 45. Here we have 45. 50 plus 60, we have 110. 110 divided by 2, it is 55. 60 plus 70, it is 130. Divided by 2, we have 65. So that is how we find these numbers. Just add this number and divide it by 2. Okay, so we are done here. We can now proceed there. Just to remind you, this is not a minus, people. I've just write it in short to say 0 to 10. It is not 0 minus 10. I thought of emphasizing on that, because some people can think, how is he getting a 5 here when you have got 0 minus 10? So it is not a minus, it is just a short of writing 0 to 10. Okay. So we can now proceed to find f of x. F of x simply means multiply f and x, multiply f and x. So we are multiplying f and x. So now we are multiplying. 3 times 5 is 15. Here we have a 15. Then we have got 8 times 15, we have 120. Here we have 120. 14 times 25 is 350. Here we have 350. 22 times 35 is 770. We have 770 there. 23 times 45 is 1035. Here we have 1035. 22 times 55 is 1210. 1210. 8 times 65, we have 520. Of course, these numbers also we are going to add them. You are going to find the sum of these numbers. However, when you reach at this stage, before you fill this stage, first you need to find the mean. So here we are going to hold on and we find the mean before we come and fill this column here. So we add 15 plus 120 plus 350, 770 plus 1035 plus 1210 plus 520. We are going to get 4020. So when you get this f for a summation, or maybe the sum of f of x, we need to find the mean. So the mean, which is also called the x bar, is equals to the summation f of x, add f of x, add f and x. So we are adding f and x. This is the answer. The answer divided by the summation of f, add f. So we are adding the f, this column here. So when you add f and x, you're going to get here we have added, we have gotten 4020 kwacha divided by f, where summation of f is 100. Here you have 100. Here we put there 100. And when you divide there, you're going to get 40.2. 40.2 here is our mean. Now, after getting the mean, we need now to find the f of x squared, or maybe square x, then multiply it by f. You are squaring x. When you get the answer, you're multiplying by f. So that I'm sure that is clear there. So let us proceed now to fill up this column. So here x is 5. 5 squared times 3, we're going to get 75. 15 squared times 8, 15 squared times 8, we're going to get 1800. 25 squared times 14, we're going to get 8750. 35 squared times 22, we are 26,950. 45 squared times 23, we are going to 46,575. 46,575. 55 squared times 22, 66,550. 66,550. 65 squared times 8, we are going to get 33,800. 33,800. So now when you find these numbers here, also add them like the way I've done here and here. Add them. So when you add these numbers, all of them, you're going to get 184,500. 184,500. So now we can proceed and find the standard deviation. So standard deviation here, of course, you can also use that other formula. You're also going to get the same answer. But for me, I prefer this one since it is a simple one for me. But also, even that one, we are going to look at another video on how you can use that other formula. But for today, let us focus on this one. So here, we're going to say standard deviation is equals to the square root summation f of x squared. So summation meaning sum means add f of x squared. So we added and we got this number. Divided by the summation of f. I'm sure I've already discussed about the summation of f meaning add these numbers. Minus x bar squared. Minus x bar squared. So this square root, it is this one. Summation f of x squared. After adding f of x squared, I got 184,500 here. 184,500 divided by summation of f, these numbers, when you add them, I'm going to get 100. This is why you have 100 there. Minus 40.2. This is the x bar. This is the mean we found here. So 40.2 squared. So when you say 184,500 divided by 100, we have 1,845. Of course, this square root, it is this one here. Square root, it is this one. So when you divide here, you're going to get 1,845 minus 40.2 squared, we are going to get 1,616.04. 1,616.04. Of course, everything under the square root. Then when you subtract here, when you subtract 1,844 minus 1,616.04, I am going to get a 228.96. 228.96. Then this square root, you bring it there. So when you find this, to find the standard deviation, we need to remove this square root. So standard deviation will be equal to, after square root, you find the square root of this number. The square root of 228.96 is 15.13. So meaning the standard deviation of this question was 15.93. So that is the standard deviation. I just want to make an emphasis. Here. There are two common errors which a lot of learners make here. Number one, when the question is saying find the standard deviation, like the way it is here, a lot of learners leave the question here. Please, this is not the standard deviation. This is the mean. Of course, you cannot find the standard deviation minus finding the mean. You cannot find the standard deviation minus finding the mean. I thought of making an emphasis on that one. Then in the second one, it is on this square root. A lot of learners only put this square root on this part here. People, this square root is for everything here. This, and also this. So even the x bar should be inside the square root. Don't just put a square root here, then you leave this number outside the square root. Please, it is not correct. We don't do it like that. Make sure there's everything, all the numbers there, they are inside the square root. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. May God bless you for your time. Please, those who want tuitions, either online or maybe those who want the physical or maybe face-to-face tuitions, please, I'll drop my number on the video below. Under this video, I'm going to drop my number. Please feel free to call me or maybe to WhatsApp me. Thank you very much for your time.